what I need for an intro. Ja.
Yes, sir. Happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah, happy belated Father's Day.
Father's
To all
Day, Dad.
fathers out there, including those fathers of the 76ers. Sprint full speed past the ball screen.
Yeah.
Oh, get an open lane for a layup. Nope, pass.
Yeah.
Game 7. You guys want to say?
Hey, at least he didn't get fouled on that play, huh?
It's all in here. It's all in here.
Yeah.
Game 7 in Philly last night.
Spin move, oops. Spin move, oops. That's what the nigga did. He did the spin move, oops. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Oh no, you good. You good. We just having fun, you know. That's all that is. Oh man, game 7 in Philly, and what a game 7 it was. Oh, I'm sorry, just 1 second. I gotta get rid of those guys.
You in New Jersey.
Just 1 sec. Oh, I forgot. But as I'm doing that, game 7 in Philly took place, and what a game 7 it was. A lot to talk about, a lot to go over. Let's skip the breakdown. We'll just talk about individual stuff within the game. Let's just get right to the finish, right to the end result. The Atlanta Hawks stun the number 1 seeded Philly 76ers and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. My, oh my. Wow. Just
to be honest, I'm just gonna make you speak throughout this whole thing about the whole breakdown. I don't want to say a word about this game.
Why not?
I'm just gonna be honest. That's how embarrassing it was.
Don't worry. There's enough to go
because
on.
It was just embarrassing, just straight up humiliating.
Yep. You want to go on the rant? As I was saying before, Giants Connection just went to shit, almost like the Philadelphia 76ers season. But yeah, you went off with they were embarrassing. It was an embarrassing sight to see. Philly.
Yeah. I look. Here's the reason why I say it. It was so embarrassing that, like, I know you could sum it all up. It's easy. You could sum it all up, and I could sum it up in this: they have no one else to blame but themselves. They brought this upon themselves. That's it. That's all I could really say. They brought it upon themselves.
Yep. In a series in which, let's be honest, Philly was the better team. And they should have won this series in 5.
I thought they was going to win it in 5 until they decided to blow, 18. And then he said, wait, we could do better than that. Let's make it 27.
26.
20. Hey, it don't matter at this point. They already said, hey, we could better it. Just add on 50. Let's see. They could blow a 50-point lead, huh? So
no, let's add on to that. How about we take it a step up? How about we lose the series?
Amazing, perfect. And Doc Rivers saying that is great. Make me look bad. Make me look worse than what I already do.
I mean, Philly. Yeah, Y'all deserve all the boos that y'all had in the end of the game. Every last one of them. Maybe not trashed on the court, but they're Philly fans. They upset. It's just what an disappointing end to your season. You had championship aspirations. You already had previous embarrassing playoff runs. Losing to Ricky Tatum, losing to the Raptors in 7 with, of course, the famous bounce Kawhi Leonard shot. Then getting swept by the Celtics last year. Now, this series in which you were up 18 at one point in Game 4, you blew that lead. Then the next game, you were dominating the entire game. You was up by 26 on your home floor, and you blow that lead. And then eventually, come back. Yep. You get the win in Game 6, come back Game 7 on your home floor, and you collapse and lose again on your home floor. I mean, what is there to say? There's so much to complain about with the Sixers team. Just so many costly mistakes throughout this game. The turnovers plagued them all throughout this game. I mean, you have 17 turnovers on your home floor. Like, that's usually when you have something on the road. But 17 turnovers on your home floor in a Game 7. You got to be kidding me. Costly turnovers at that. Boneheaded mistakes.
Look, man. Go on. I'm sorry. Go
on. Boneheaded mistakes. Couldn't hit your shots down the stretch. Let's go individually to critique these players. Free throw shooting also very inconsistent all night. You're on your home floor. You're trying to win this game, get the series over, and you shoot 75, 76% from the line. Man, I just don't know. I don't understand what is going on with Philly. I don't understand what was I watching last night or for majority of the series. But we can go over it as Jadim has another connection interruption. By the way, take this time to like and subscribe. Sports channel, share it, or every like and every view this video, can help us gain money towards Jadim's updated connection. Because as you see, his connection is absolutely dog. Let me try to bring him back in. He's got to be on his phone now, so you might see it differently. And there he is, back again. Because his connection is dog.
I'm sorry, man. It just kept happening again right after. It was going so well for just 30 seconds, and then it just started doing that again.
Jesus, I mean, come on.
Bro, I'm trying my best here. It's just like it kept just moving funny. So that's the reason why.
You being too passive. You gotta be aggressive, Ben. I mean, Ja. You being too passive. You gotta go get an Ethernet cable. You gotta change your setup. You gotta do something to help your connection. Otherwise, you're going home. Well, I mean, oh wait. Sorry, I'm mixing between two people. As I was saying, let's go individually. M.O.B, he did play great for majority of the series. I don't really want to blame him as much. Sometimes I felt like he did settle, but a lot of the times he was in rhythm, so it was fine for him. So most of the times he made those shots.
Yes.
Tobias Harris, even though he struggled in certain parts of this game,
Yep.
he was the one that was hitting those big shots late.
Yeah.
Because the Sixers were really struggling late in that fourth quarter, as was the Hawks, because there was a point in this game 7 where no team was hitting buckets. No team was hitting shots. Especially the Hawks. The Hawks went like 0 for 8 at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And the Sixers did nothing to capitalize off of that.
Sixers.
Nonetheless, yeah. Even though Tobias Harris did struggle a little bit, the majority of the series, besides Game 5, where he was absent, he's been playing great, and he was the go-to guy late for them.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, spectacular all throughout the series. Absolutely spectacular.
No question.
However, let's just address elephant in the room. Before I go to that one thing for Embiid I forgot to mention. He did play great for majority of the series. However, 8 turnovers in the NBA game 7, that cannot happen whatsoever, including a costly turnover late in the game, which give credit to Gallinari, savvy veteran, getting the steal, poking the ball, and then getting the dunk eventually ended this game and crushed all hope for Philly fans. But yeah, you can't have 8 turnovers in a game 7.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's get to the elephant in the room. Let's get to the Sixers' second best player, or supposedly their second best player. Ben Simmons. We all know how talented you are, because we've seen it. You're not a bum. You're not even a role player. You're an all-star. Someone that can be potentially a superstar. Because sure, you can shoot, and I know a lot of people focus on that. To me, I don't really care about that. My problem with Ben is your aggressiveness or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the point guard, and inside the NBA crew is killing him with this. You're the point guard. You give the Embiid the ball at half court.
Yeah.
It was just no aggression. You sprint that fast just to stop, turn back, and then reset. I don't understand. You're fast. You're strong. You have good handles. You're skilled. You're quick. I don't. You're a great finisher. I don't understand. What is your problem? It's like it has to be mental. There's something. It's like it's almost scared.
You said it.
A key point in which everybody has already picked this apart by now. Late in the game, down by 2, gets by Gallinari. He has an open layup or dunk right. He's right there underneath the basket. He's right there.
Yeah.
And he passes it to Thibault. And Thibault gets fouled and he makes 1 of 2.
Yeah.
If that shows you then this is why I say that confidence is probably the most important thing for an NBA player, because you can have all the skill in the world, but when you don't have that confidence, it doesn't translate with the skill. It doesn't connect.
Yeah.
He doesn't have confidence. He doesn't have confidence in himself. That's why he's not aggressive. That's why he's not attacking and finishing. That's why he made that pass when he has an easy layup right there. You can't explain that. You can't say, because he can't finish. That's not anything to do about his skill. That's all in his mind.
Exactly. And you said it right there. You know, it's the mental game. It's the mental game, and they always say it when it comes to sports in general, is 10% physical, 90% mental. And I think in that aspect, that's where he kind of. I felt like the noise all over the past years, and including this year, obviously, has finally got to him in terms of hearing people constantly talk about the fact of him not being able to shoot. The shooting, because let's be honest, he got a hitch on his shot.
the shooting woes, the free throw woes, the hitch, constantly hearing that over and over again. And now the fact that it has all summed up again that you're kind of getting exposed as a liability for your team because of the fact that of those shooting woes, you aren't able to stay in the game in important, crucial moments. And I think that's the thing with Ben. Again, I don't care about the shooting because I feel like he could dominate in many other ways. You just said it right there. But it stops him from being aggressive because he feels like now that teams are going to just constantly foul him whenever it comes to crucial moments, and he can't do much. He really can't do much. And it makes him scared to make sacrifices like getting a dunk and an and-one for the fact of knowing that he got to go to the free throw line.
So maybe it is shooting because free throws are shooting. So maybe if he has more confidence in his shot, maybe that will help with his free throws. Because he doesn't shoot at all, and then late in the game he gets fouled and he has to go to free throw line. That's the first shot he takes.
Yeah. Yes, one thing I learned about basketball, right, is like you see how much more easier and how much more wonderful the game opens up and how much wide the game opens up for you when you could shoot. I'm trust and believe. When you have the ability to shoot, you don't got to shoot like a Stephen Curry, obviously. But when you're a good shooter, the game opens up for you in many ways than expected, especially when you're a star. Look at Kevin Durant. Look at Stephen Curry. Look at Anthony Davis. Look at Klay Thompson. Things are better when you have the ability to at least get to Trae Young, even though he had a bad shooting efficiency night. Your confidence is up. Your shot creating ability has to be respected. And that's what Ben doesn't have. He doesn't have that confidence, and obviously he doesn't have that shooting ability. He doesn't have that respect. So people could do whatever they want. They could just toy with him in that kind of way, and it eventually gets to you. It wears on you.
Yeah. It's really disappointing seeing Ben play like that because we all see his potential. We all see how good he is, and you see the parallel. You see Ben Simmons right there being not aggressive and does not have an ability to shoot and hit free throws, and then on the same spectrum, but a little bit different, you see Giannis, who can't shoot, can't make free throws, but is aggressive.
Yep.
I mean, that goes to show you like what that does.
Yeah, no question. And the thing is, it's like I'm not saying Ben doesn't practice, but Giannis, he doesn't really have a hitch. Even though his I don't know, guess the theory about muscle mass and stuff, we could change the shot, but I don't think he has a hitch or anything. I just feel like, but Giannis, just like what you said, Giannis isn't really scared though to take those shots. No. He's not scared to shoot. And that's the thing, it's weird because that's the confidence part right there talking. Like, even though he's not a great shooter or a good shooter or anything like that, he's still going to shoot because he feels like it opens up an opportunity for his team to score or get something better out of it if they get a rebound or something like that, things like that. He's not afraid to shoot the basketball. He's not. Ben is literally like the running joke. Yeah. Like the constant running joke. He runs like a Ferrari right past the halfway mark and doesn't get to the finish line because he's just passing it off to somebody like it's a baton thing, like a marathon run. Like, what's the purpose?
That's actually a great way to describe Ben Simmons and the way he plays.
It's just weird, man. I don't know. I don't know at this point.
But one more thing to get about on these Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah. And not the players, but the head coach. Oh, Doc Rivers. over the past decade, your teams have blown leads after leads after leads after leads after leads. Whether these are 3-2 leads, whether these are 3-1 leads, whether these are 18, 15, 17, 26-point leads. This cannot be a coincidence. This cannot be a coincidence. You haven't been to the conference finals since 2012, 2013.
2012.
2012. You haven't been there since 2012. And in that series, you was also up 3-2. But in that series, I can't really blame you because LeBron went beast mode and dropped 40 plus in game 6.
Yep.
However, all this time, you haven't been back. Haven't been to the finals since Kobe beat you in game 7. Well, Pop saw around our test. But since the Lakers beat you in game 7 in 2010.
Yep.
And ever since then, you went to the Clippers, all those years there, could never get to the finals, blown leads, blew a 3-1 lead, got Kawhi and Paul George last year, blew 2 leads in game 5 and game 6 against the Nuggets, and then blew a 3-1 lead against them. Now you come back, you blew an 18-point lead with the Sixers team. Championship aspirations, just like you had championship aspirations for the past 10 years.
Yep.
It's like your peak is this. Your peak is the second round. Your peak has been the second round for almost a decade now. To me, this can't be a coincidence. This has to be on his coaching. It has to be. I don't know. Like, it's happened too much time. It's happened too many times now. It's happened too many times.
And it's crazy that we have to speak about him in this kind of light because once again, he's a coach that you want in today's league. He's a player coach, a coach that could connect with players because he used to be a player, obviously, at one point in his life. He knows what it is. He knows what a player has to go through. But yet, it's just like, and he kind of got stomped out once by Isaiah Thomas. But hey,
I wasn't laughing about that.
Wait, what you was laughing about?
I was laughing that he played on the team that just eliminated him.
Oh yeah, and the team that he eventually went on to coach.
But continue.
Yep, but like it's crazy that we speak about him, but it's just like, what's going on? Like, is the scheme or strategy that you're using not working? Because you hear Pete. You remember when Paul George came out on the All the Smoke podcast and basically said what he said, talking about how he didn't feel like Doc let him flow through or whatsoever, and made him play him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we see what Paul George is now.
That might be different for Paul George, but you can see that Doc's impact with Embiid was significantly better.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yes. But what is it? And I can understand. Look, this is the reason why I say it could go on him in terms of coaching strategy, but it can't go on him because your players do have to deliver. Your players do have to deliver. And you said it. You already called out the players who stepped up. Embiid, Seth, who else? Tobias. Like, those guys step up. But what about the others? Shake Milton was like in sparks. You know what I mean? He stepped up here, there, and there, but not in a way that you want to. You could say Dwight Howard did his part. Maxey, he did his role as a rookie. He did his role
in Game 6, but in this game, he didn't really do much.
Yeah, Thibault, defensively,
Thibault was okay.
He was okay.
Korkmaz was inconsistent.
And let's be honest, they missing Danny Green too.
Never thought I heard you say that, but yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah, but like I can't. Players have to deliver, but coach also strategy is just like something is not working. Something is not working. It's like I don't know what it is, but it's just not working towards your benefit when it comes up to moments where it's crucial, I guess.
Listen, you can't be up 18 and 26 and blow both leads in a playoff series. That can't
Hey,
happen.
the good thing is at least he didn't clap this time. He didn't clap his hands this time.
Didn't have time to. But hey,
Getting ready about that.
That's all. Disappointing series, disappointing year for the number one seeded Philadelphia 76ers with championship aspirations, with an MVP caliber player, an MVP nominated player, defensive player nominated player, and 2 All-Stars, All-Star snub. Great team, great 3-point shooters, and yet they get pounced out in 7 games. Get upsetted in the second round. But what?
Yeah, and this is unfortunate because, again, obviously we can't speak into the future, but we know how many teams are going to come back well and healthy because after this whole COVID thing, and this was their best chance to take strike at the Heat when it was still hot. And
Nope. Oh,
sorry.
Unfortunate, Philly. Just a disappointment. But
Yep.
that's Philly. They were disappointing and all that, but there's losers and there's winners. Spend all this time on Philly, and it'll be unjust to not talk about the winners of this series. The Atlanta Hawks. ATL, stand up. The Atlanta Hawks. The surprise of the playoffs. The way that they have been playing has been just it's been unbelievable. It's been amazing.
Hold on. Once again, take that, Indiana. Ditch me for who? Whose name? Greg Bizet? Whatever his name is. I don't even know his name.
Greg Bazag?
I don't even know who he is. I think I'm somebody else.
I thought it was Nate Boykin.
Oh, Nate Boykin. Oh, well, there you go. See, I didn't even know his actual name at all.
I don't know how to say it. But or maybe that's Charlotte. I don't know. But yeah, Indiana really did drop the ball, huh? Wanted to make that change, and Atlanta said, "Hey, you know what? How about just become assistant? Just help out our coach. He's still trying to grow." And Lloyd Pierce, it did not work out. Hawks team couldn't reach their full potential.
Yep.
Enter Nate McMillan, and from the jump, as soon as he started coaching, you saw an immediate change.
Yep.
In the way they were playing, in the way John Collins was playing, in the way the shooters were playing, in the chemistry they had, in the way that man was playing. Everything was different. Nate McMillan is he's an amazing coach. I've always knew that he was a good playoff coach, and this year, he's just took it to the next level because this team is just fits. He fits this team so well.
Yep.
But we praised Nate McMillan enough. We praised him all year. Let's talk about these players in this game 7, because in this game 7, Trae Young was really struggling for majority of the game.
Inefficient.
Yeah, he was really inefficient for majority of this game, to be honest. But surprise, Kevin Huerter, who has been playing great all postseason, but he just stepped it up big time because they weren't getting big production for Trae Young. As we mentioned, he was struggling. And Seth Curry, you are just too little. Kevin Huerter was giving you buckets. Buckets. He was giving everybody on that floor buckets. I mean, I didn't know Kevin Huerter was like that. Yeah. I thought, okay, Kevin Huerter, he's a great 3-and-D player. He's a great catch and shooter. He can cut. He can finish a little bit. He was step back and he was creating his own shot. He was shooting off the dribble. I mean, he came out to ball.
Yep.
27 points in this big game 7. That's what you want. That's what you want when your star player isn't out, because when your star player isn't playing at the level that you want him to, other guys got to step up.
Yeah,
Other
no
guys got
question.
to step up. And Kevin Herter did exactly that, and he's been playing great all postseason.
Yeah.
Will Austin playing great. John Collins, he's been playing great all postseason. You know, before, matter of fact, before Lehman Miller even got the job, we had to talk about John Collins before. We saw he had potential, but it was like it's like something's missing. Like I don't know what it was. Maybe it was aggression, possibly.
Yeah.
Shot selection. We didn't exactly know, but he was like he has so much potential.
Yeah.
And yet, this postseason, he's been proving that.
Yeah.
He's been a great catch and shooter. He's been a great rebounder. He's been a great defensively. I mean, he's athletic. I mean, he's been doing it all. He's been doing it all. I mean, what can you say about John Collins this time? Clint Capella, he gave him so much praise all year. Felt like he was very underrated, very underappreciated, and nobody was really looking at him the way that he was balling out.
Yeah.
I mean, in this postseason, also spectacular. Gallinari, especially in this game. Gallinari, veterans, especially the veterans that create their own shot like Gallo can. Who's also a good shooter like Gallo is. I mean, I know about Gallinari since he was in New York. Yep. Since he was in New York. So I knew I've known for almost over a decade how talented he was offensively. And he stepped up big time for this Hawks team, especially with that big steal he had on Embiid when they're up by 4, and then the dunk to steal the deal and end this game.
Oh, you mean the oops, excuse me. Spin move, oops, excuse me.
Yep, right on Embiid, create his 8th turnover on the night. Yeah. Bogdanovich, even though he did struggle in this series a lot, he was great in New York. He was great in the New York series. Lou Williams, who saved them in that game 5, bringing his veteran leadership and his scoring ability. But it all crumbles down. You don't have a star. You don't have someone that you trust to get the ball, to give you those buckets late, to give you those big games and those big playoff performances. And, well, they have one. Maybe they even have a superstar. Am I saying he is? I don't know. Who knows? But Trae Young, the man at the helm, the best player on this team, and he's been proving that all postseason. Trae Young, so skilled, so crafty, and even though he was struggling in this game, what do we say about superstars? What do we say about stars? When they're struggling in terms of scoring the ball, they find other ways to impact the game. His other way was his playmaking ability, which in this playoffs, I've seen with my own eyes is unbelievable. The way he can pass the ball, the way he can set up his teammates, the way he sets up Capella, the way he sets up Herter, the way he sets up Collins. I mean, he's spectacular as a point guard.
No question. No question. And let's be honest, also, another thing they say about stars/superstars is not how you finish, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting to.
Yep. He did everything that you just said right there, setting up his teammates, helping out, creating space, because he knew that he couldn't get his shot up. The defense on Philly was really good in terms of guarding him individually. Even there was a period of time in which Ben Simmons had him on clamps.
Yes. Ben Simmons did play great defensively. It's the only good thing I say. Yep.
Yep. But the moment it came down to the wire, that three of 20 went to 10 of 20, 10 of 30.
Yep, because like we say, like you just said, superstars also, even when they're struggling the entire game, they come alive when you need them to. They hit the shots when it counts, when it matters the most, and that's what Trae Young did late in that fourth quarter. He hit the shots, made the buckets when they needed him to, when it mattered the most. In a game 7, in a win or go home, in a chance to go to the Eastern Conference, he stepped up big time. Trae Young has been absolutely phenomenal. He's only 22 years old. Let's get that straight. He's 22 years old in his first playoff run.
Yeah.
And yet he is playing at such a high level in these playoffs.
Yeah. That's the confidence. One thing I can tell you about Trae Young since day one, watching him, you could just tell the confidence. You saw it. You saw it in the summer league. Don't forget when he struggled in the summer league in the beginning, and what happened?
Yeah.
The confidence. He just kept going. He kept going. Struggled in the beginning of this first season. Eventually came back to make it a race in the Rookie of the Year.
First season. Yeah, we obviously know who's going to go to. Yeah,
exactly. And then became an all-star just the next season. And now just look at his confidence. The way he plays with so much confidence, like you can never really bring him down. He did push him when Dwight Howard ran over him.
Yep. I mean, you want to talk about confidence and having that mentality. I mean, his first playoff game was in Madison Square Garden after the Knicks haven't been to the playoffs in 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
He took all that energy from that crowd, almost channeled it and hardened it like he was a damn superhero. Or, in the Knicks case, a supervillain.
Yep.
And shut the Garden down and shut the Knicks down.
He told New York City to shut the fuck up for one night at least, please.
And then came back to close out on home on Madison Square Garden and finished it.
Yep.
And then in this series, I mean, he was big time in all 3 home losses on the Sixers. They beat the Sixers 3 times on their home floor. And the Sixers were great all year on their home floor.
But show you how things go different when you're in the playoffs.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. This Hawks team is just unbelievable in the way they're playing. Nate McMillan has them playing at such a high level. I mean, they have so much talent. They have defense when they need to. They have that mentality. They have the shooters. They have the star. They have the veterans. Have a coach. And they had all that to knock out the number 1 seed. And first time since 2015, they will go to the Eastern Conference Finals to meet the Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, wow. These playoffs has been unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's just crazy to think about. Yep. But it doesn't get less unbelievable from here. Because we had another game, and we had the start of the Western Conference Finals. The Los Angeles Clippers going to Phoenix, Arizona to battle the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, no Kawhi, no Chris Paul in this game. And yeah, both stars were out. Playoff P was there, of course. I mean, I think we call him that with all confidence and not think about it. Yeah. Paul George, especially in that second quarter, I mean, he was big time. He was so big time in that first half. I mean, I think he had like 20. Well, how much he had? Like 20? I think.
Yeah.
In that first half?
Yeah, he had around 20 points in that first half.
I mean, he was spectacular. Reggie Jackson, also spectacular. All throughout this game.
GS9.
All throughout this game as well. On the Suns, though, however, yeah, they was tearing apart that help defense inside. Because every time they got into the hole, penetrated, got to the teeth of the defense, where's Ayton? Where's Ayton? Pass him. Dunk. I mean, all Ayton had to do was just catch the ball and dunk it. There was nobody there. I mean, it was just tearing apart that help defense. Ayton was having himself a feast. And I mentioned he was going to be the player to look out for.
Yep.
Because it's going to be how well he plays offensively and defensively, because as we saw in that Clippers game 6, Clippers sometimes they can go small ball, and they killed the Jazz with that lineup. So let's see. We're gonna see if he can stay in the game or not. And I mean, well, yeah, when he's just gamming on everybody, yes, in the game, stay in the game. Also, got to give credit to my boy on the Clippers who came in that second quarter and dropped 11 points. DeMarcus Cousins. Oh, he just came in and said, "Yeah, I'm doing me."
I'm gonna do me.
Yep.
Finally, get some playing time. I'm just gonna do me at this point.
Yep. He got some big minutes too. He really got some big minutes. Unfortunately, later in the game, he got into foul trouble, which sucks for him and the Clippers. But just seeing those 11 points in that second quarter was big. It was big for the Clippers. But we haven't mentioned one player. One player. He said the stars are out. Well, stars are literally out, and also the stars are out. We mentioned Paul George in that first half, and the other star kind of took the role of the point guard almost.
Yeah,
being a playmaker, so he was scoring, but it was more so setting up his teammates, and in that third quarter, man, it was a little bit of a duel between the star players. Paul George, 14 in that third quarter, and on the opposite side, Devin Booker. He said, "You know what? Man, I'm just taking over." And take over. He did.
Yeah, take over.
Yeah, take over. He did.
Took over.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I graduated 2 years ago. Devin Booker with 18 points in that third quarter. He could not be stopped. Every time he got in that mid-range side, I was thinking, is this Chris Paul? Devin Booker, as soon as he got inside, he just pulled. He said, nobody's here. Nobody's going to guard me
here.
Yeah. And this shows you, like you love to mention this so many times. Mid-range is not it's not dead. The mid-range is not dead whatsoever, because we still have players that can be very effective and very efficient and still get that bread and butter inside.
Thank you, DeMar.
It could be it's DeMar, it's Kawhi, it's Chris Paul, and Devin Booker showed you as well.
Yep.
I mean, he was spectacular in that third quarter. Unbelievable. And then it didn't stop in the fourth quarter because he just continued. And not only with the scoring ability, with his playmaking ability. I mean, Devin Booker had 11 assists.
Yeah.
Not only that, he had 13 rebounds.
So he was legit doing it all.
Doing it all.
Look, man, who's his mentor?
Chris Paul. Oh, actually, no. His mentor is Kobe.
And what Kobe told him to do?
Be legendary.
And what did he do?
Be legendary.
There you go. He did what Kobe would do. Kobe-esque, second half. Do whatever it takes. Put it all out there on the line, especially offensively, to make sure this team got a dub. And that's what he did. Just like what you said, from playmaking to shot creating to creating space to send up his teammates to hustling, trying his best to defend, of course. Went at it with one of the most skilled players in the game right now too, and Paul George within that second half.
Yep.
I don't know how. I think it could get more legendary than that, but hey, as of right now, I don't know how much I don't know what else to say.
I mean, yeah, and Devin Booker really showed his playmaking ability and that he can be a great passer and a great leader on the court for this team.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get those 11 assists. Those guys don't hit shots. Yeah. Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, Cam Johnson, Torrey Craig, and of course DeAndre Ayton. All big time in this game. All big time.
Yeah.
And especially Cameron Payne. You know he had to play well. You know he had to play great. You know he had to step up. No Chris Paul. I know it's big shoes to fill. But he played great. He had 11-9 in this game. He had 11-9. I mean, what else do you want when your leader, possibly your best player, is out and your backup? He needs to do something to fill that role. You know, it's not Terrence Mann 39, but that's what you want. 11-9 from Cameron Payne, who's been playing great all postseason. That's what you love.
Yeah, no question.
And then, like I said, along with that, I mean, the Suns really went on a little bit of a run in that fourth quarter, and Clippers kind of went a little bit cold. Couldn't really get a shot. A lot of times it felt like it was one-on-one offense, which I don't really like from any team. To be honest, one-on-one offense is not going to get you to the promised land. It's not going to get you to win a chip.
Exactly.
Also, they
unless
missed.
If you're Hakeem.
Stop. That did not work with Hakeem. It was not one-on-one.
Sorry.
Well, I don't do that. You know better than that. I'm disappointed. But
sorry.
The Clippers also, they just missed some of their shots.
Yeah.
Paul George, he didn't play the best in that fourth quarter. He was missing a lot of his shots. He was settling a little bit, which really got me frustrated. Because Paul George, I want him to be aggressive inside, then get in rhythm, and then you can take those shots.
Yeah.
But once you start missing a few, it's like, okay, PG, you got to go inside. But even that, it was just they just couldn't hit their shots down the stretch at all game. But then they did hit their shots, and they did cut into that. They get into a 2-point lead via Terrence Mann big three. But Devin Booker gets a dunk. They miss, and a little bit too late. I mean, it was only 22 seconds left after Terrence Mann hit that three, and then Devin Booker immediately gets a dunk.
Yep.
And so, as a result, it was the Suns taking game one of the Western Conference Finals via Devin Booker's 40, 13, and 11 game. A 40-point triple-double from Devin Booker with a superstar level performance, stepping up big time without Chris Paul. She love to see.
Yeah, no question. Again, Devin Booker be legendary, and that's what he did. He was legendary. Without his backcourt mate with him, the best leader of this team, he was like, you know what, it's fine. I think I learned enough from this guy to know what to do, and I'm going to apply it. And that's what he did. He applied everything that Chris Paul has been teaching him throughout the season. Ayton, once again, you said it, stepped up. He's been stepping up big time in his postseason. This is peak. We're seeing potentially peak Ayton for the future line to come down in this playoffs. You know what I mean? With the way he's been just balling out and playing. You talk about the rest of the Suns team. But also, I got to give credit to this Clippers team. That the way that they was playing on both ends of the floor, getting into the passing lanes defensively too, at times with the Suns and things like that. You just have to love to see. This is the competition that we love to see. This is the competition we love to see.
Playoff basketball.
Yes, sir. And again, that duel, I hope to see that a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun series. I mean, they look pretty evenly matched for 3 quarters up until the Suns went on a little bit of a run in that fourth quarter to close out this game. Yeah. Should be really, really, really fun. But all right, there's no news, and also there is no games for tonight. I mean, well, obviously the game, it was just East Conference Finals just got set, so there was no game for tonight. Next game will be Tuesday. The East Conference Finals will be Wednesday. Josh, should we do predictions for the East Conference Finals tomorrow, or should we do it after we review the game 2 of the Western Conference Finals? So we've come to agreement. Our predictions for the Eastern Conference Finals will be on the podcast that we recap the game 2 game of the Western Conference Finals between the Suns and the Clippers. So stay tuned for that. That means tomorrow, no podcast, which means that let's predict our game 2 game between the Clippers and the Suns for Tuesday. Ja, 9 o'clock ESPN. Clippers looking to bounce back after that game 1 loss that we just recapped. Who you got?
I feel like the Clippers are going to make better adjustments. I think that's one thing I've noticed about Tyronn Lue. He's really good at making up adjustments to get better game after game.
Mm-hmm.
But even and obviously I got this going to 7 games, but I feel like the Suns still got the momentum, and I feel like as long as they're on the home floor, they're gonna still have this momentum, and I still got the Suns winning game 2.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Suns winning game 2. If anybody's thinking, well, that means Clippers gonna be down 2-0. Yeah, they were down 2-0 past 2 series. Look where they are now. So that does not mean they're out whatsoever. We've seen what this Clippers team can do. They are the comeback kids from LA, I guess. I mean, they come back down 0-2. They come back down 3-2. Come back down 0-2. Come back down from 25.
Yeah.
In game 6 of the Jazz series. So they could come back. But yeah, I got the Suns. They're really good at home.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap things up, Ja. Final thoughts. ATL. Stand up.
Yeah,
ATL.
Man. Atlanta Hawks. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. Just underdogs. Straight. This is what you would like to see. Underdogs just straight up just proving people wrong constantly. You know what I mean? And just an amazing way to shock the world. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what they basically did. Like, I don't even think I even seen them.
We both had to lose to the Knicks.
Yeah.
And now they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
What a way to shut us up, huh? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And I know we talked about it last time, but when it comes to Philly, I just need them to run it back just this last time with Doc. Just this last time with Doc.
Oh,
one
Doc.
more time with
Doc. No. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Something has to be done with Ben and this team, though. I don't know about trading him, but someone has to sit the man down and say, "Listen, we need to be aggressive. You need to be more aggressive at certain points of the game. You need to pick your poison. Like, you cannot get all the way to the hole and then just pass it up.
Exactly.
Full speed down court, just to pass, set a screen.
Exactly. He got to go to a mental training coach that puts him through that line of work in order to build up that mentality.
But he should have been learning this since he got into this league. But I mean, Brent Brown is a coach. I mean, probably not.
Yeah, bring back Sam Hinkie. But yeah.
Trust the process, right, Sam? Right, Sam? Trust the process. They going home, Sam. They going home.
We're going right back to where you are, home. But I just need to see them running back one more time. Yeah, of course, probably the chances are lesser next season, but they got to run it back one more time. Let's see what happens. And if something worse than this, I don't know how much worse it can get, because they have a history, just like what you brought up earlier, of just bad playoff moments.
Next year they lose the 8th seed.
Exactly. It could be like that. It could really be like that. And they may end up losing to a team that you never even expect to make it to the playoffs. But like, i.e. Orlando.
The Pacers or something else.
Yeah, but or the Pistons. Like, yeah. Just running back one more time, but yeah, they gonna have to fix something up there in Philly, because you're making the franchise history and the players look bad. The players that come around look bad, real bad.
Yep. Poor Dr. J and AI. They really play for this franchise. Well,
and no wonder that Chuck went to Phoenix.
Yep. Phoenix in the conference finals, Philly not.
Yep.
But think about this. Both number 1 seeds are out.
Yeah.
Jazz and the Sixers are out. That
Okay.
is just wild. This playoff season has been wild. Somebody, either Paul George is going to get his first chip, Devin Booker and Chris Paul is going to get their first chip. Trae Young at 22 years old is going to get his first chip.
Yeah.
Also, Lou Will. I can't mention that. Giannis is going to get his first chip along with Holiday and Middleton.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I am loving Nathan Millen get his first chip. Mike Budenholzer get his first chip.
Yep.
Monty Williams get his first chip. I mean, Tyronn Lue already has chips, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Unpredictability, playoff basketball. This is what we here for. I love it. I love it.
They're just saying a little bit. They was like, thanks, COVID, for giving us this opportunity.
It could be COVID. It could be injuries as well. But
yeah, true.
We'll see what happens. But for now, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into Wednesday's podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
And also follow our G and our TikTok down in the description below.
Yes. And of course, once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
This is Minor Basketball Podcast.
Conference Final Edition.
Playoff edition, Trust the Process edition. No Philly edition.
Yep.
No number 1 seed edition.
There's a lot. There's a lot of taglines you could make up with this now at this point.
Yep. But goodbye, everybody.
Take care.
No Ben Simmons edition.